Hi, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We're here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good, the bad, the concerning and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimmy, our passionate heart,
Yeah.
and then there's me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Back again for a new episode. Thank you for tuning in. And we have a big show with lots of going on for the in the culture. It's Black
Mm-hmm.
History Month,
Yup. Yup.
first week of Black History Month down. um has it I don't know if it's as bad as last year, but in terms of the chaos, but
Right?
I would say for the most part it's been pretty good. I've been feeling a lot of love, I think,
Yeah.
outside,
Positive.
not positive,
Mm,
not at, in the culture and the media, not at work, but you know what I
no,
mean.
of course
What's
not.
good, you know
You're
what's going
just asking for
on.
too much at this point.
Yeah,
You just
yeah, right. It's a funny time if you work
right?
at certain companies, you know what I mean.
Goodness. Goodness. Like, Miss. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um okay, so I guess we'll just jump into the show, but before we jump into the show, just want to say thanks for tuning in, everybody. As you continue to grow the show, we'd love you to um, rate the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to the podcast. Drop a star, drop a comment. All of that helps. Drop a like, anything. If
Right?
you are listening and enjoying, and you come back a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as we do every time when we open a show, as friends and as
Mm-hmm.
co-hosts, we need to check in and check up.
Yes.
How are you doing, my friend?
This week was rough. It was rough at certain parts of the
Mm,
week.
yeah.
I had to reevaluate my life a couple times, but
Ooh,
overall, God got me through it, and yeah, I think I need to make some changes. I think I said that a couple shows back, but I think
yeah,
I need to like seriously look into making some changes just for more peace of mind,
yeah,
with work and stuff like that. But overall, like, family is healthy. We're here.
yeah.
We're
Gotta
getting
appreciate
through
that.
the
Mm-hmm.
winter months, which
Ooh,
it's hard. Like, people who don't deal with winter, like, honestly, it takes a toll on the psyche, B.
it
Like,
does. It
it
does.
does. It takes a toll, and it's like you really have to want it. In this cold, when it's minus 15, you really gotta want it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
overall, I can't complain. I'm trying not to complain. Just
yeah.
trying to be proactive, you know what I mean? And do what I need to do. But other than that, we all right over here. How about you, girl? What's
Oh,
poppin'?
yeah. I would say I had a similar week like you in terms of
Mm-hmm. Yep.
making changes and just professional challenges and stuff like that, and
Yep. Yep.
just
Yep.
trying to move past it. Do
Yep.
you see it, you do what you can and keep it moving.
That's all you can
um
do.
that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take the emotion out of it. But yeah, I had a tough week there, and just trying to build back some confidence there and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But and then, other than that, sometimes, like, I think we talked about change in our last episode,
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
and
Yeah.
like, and facing it and doing it. And sometimes, yeah, it's uncomfortable, and sometimes it can come out of nowhere, and you're just like, whew, but it's an opportunity, potentially,
Right.
to improve something in your life, or whether it's personal, professional, or relationship, whatever. So
Totally
yeah,
agree.
but other
Yeah.
than that, other than a confidence hit, keep it
Yeah.
moving. You keep it
Yeah.
moving, and just be thankful for everything else that's going good. Other than that,
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
right? And
Jesus.
so, but trust
Yeah.
me. But you have to. But I would say, like, for anybody who's listening who's resonating with that, it's so good. Sometimes it's hard, especially as you get older, to maintain friendships, right?
Yeah.
Depending whether the friendship started when you were in grade 4, or
Mm-hmm.
whether the friendship started when you were in grade 10, Whether the
Right?
friendship started in university or whatever in your 20s, 30s, it gets harder after you pass the 20s. It's like I feel like my it gets
Right?
harder, but it's good to foster those, and it's good to have that support when you're questioning yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you're a part of that, of course.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk every week, not just for the show, but we do talk every week. And
Yes,
even
yes.
before the show, we talked every week. That's why we started a show,
That's
actually,
why exactly,
because we're
exactly.
like, damn, we'd be talking 2-3 hours and be talking
Right?
about everything
Some
and
things we're talking, boy, with some
and
things.
so we're like, listen, we need to record, put the mic
Right?
on. So yeah, I'm
Right?
so thankful for you and other people in my
Yes,
professional life
me
who've
too,
been
girl,
giving me
because trust me,
advice.
Lord
Yeah.
Jesus. It's like, ooh, Lord.
Woo. But
It's
anyway,
rough sometimes, you know?
it's rough sometimes. So that's my checkup. I
Yeah.
uh confidence took a hit, but I'm trying to turn it around. What's the word? Just absorb it and see what I can take from it and keep it moving. Let's put it that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear
way.
you on that, girl. I hear you.
Yeah. So I think we're it's been tough, but we're doing what we can.
Right?
And
It's only
yeah, and
February, like
it's only February. The
Jesus.
good thing is February is a short month.
Right?
If ever you
You
blink and
know?
February's done, you know what
Woo.
I mean? So let's just remember that it's gonna be done like so quickly. We don't even know what happened. It's one of
Right?
those months that always comes and goes so quickly. You don't even know what happened.
Right?
um. All right,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
we will jump into our headlines.
Yes.
And so our first topic was, I mentioned it's Black History Month. So Kim and I, every year we have a really good our Black History episode usually does really well. And
Yes.
so every year we try, of course, like what we are Afro Caribbean, we talk about the
Like
culture. We like
I,
it, we have
we
to.
have we just spew out culture. You understand? Like we have so much.
And
So,
so when we were talking about what we wanted to do this month, so
mhm.
we're probably going to have a couple of episodes this month where we really feature some hidden figures. I don't know if you guys remember that movie Hidden Figures, about the coalition of black women employees who helped with the mathematics to with while working at NASA to get some, launches and all this stuff, like all these things in between. But they talked about the hidden figures of this group of women who were never really acknowledged around the
Mhm.
time that they were employed. But so this movie kind of talks about, okay, there's these amazing people and black people who had a significant contribution to space travel and
Mhm.
NASA. And listen, side note, I went when I was in Florida during the holidays. My family and I went to the NASA, one of the NASA bays. Very, very impressive.
Wow. Okay.
And I would recommend, outside of the beaches, if you're in the Orlando area, I would recommend going. It's a really interesting and eye-opening trip. But yes, back to the topic.
Mhm.
Hidden figures. So we decided to
Mhm.
have a theme of hidden figures. We're talking about Black history. We talk about, because we celebrate Black history in school here and stuff like that. I don't Are the schools doing it? Your daughter's in school. Do they
You
acknowledge
know
Black
what?
history?
I've been waiting to see something come home. Nada.
Mm, mm,
Nada.
hmm, hmm.
Not a pamphlet, not a coloring
Interesting.
sheet, not a nothing.
Do you think it has to do with the community? Because you and I, we were lived in a
Right?
community where there's a large Afro Caribbean community.
Right.
Is
Right.
is that something to do with it? Do you think?
I do think so. But we've kind of lived up in these areas for her whole life, and
Yeah.
she's gone to school where
And
they
they
did do something. I haven't
okay.
seen anything. But what I always was disappointed with is that they
Mhm.
waited till the bitter end to do anything.
Okay. It's like an
Like,
afterthought.
yeah, that's exactly how it felt. But I was willing to at least see something before I had to go down to somebody's principal's office. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
right?
at least see something, right? And so
At
usually it
least
ends.
acknowledge, my thing is at least acknowledge it. Even if you're
Well, that's what
there's
I like. I need to see it somehow,
yeah.
right? And I'm not seeing it. And usually what they do is like the last 2 weeks of February, that's when I'll see like some sort of a coloring sheet. And 90% of the time, it's Martin Luther King or Malcolm X.
Yes. And that was my point. When we were when the school programs around Black History,
Yeah.
especially in Canada. I'm sure I would hope that it's a little bit different in the U.S., but especially in Canada, they kind of have those a handful of the same figures that we hear about, like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. They touch on Malcolm X, but they really they whitewash it. Like, we don't know
Yeah.
how, right?
Pretty
It wasn't
much.
until we you get to high school and you read his book, you're like, damn, this guy was
Right?
gangster.
This guy did a whole heap of stuff. They left out a whole,
Yeah,
like,
so yeah, it's very clean version of Malcolm X if we do hear about him, and some other figures like the woman from Nova Scotia, because we have some Canadian Black history, like who
yes,
in the movie theaters. So if you kind of
Desmond.
pretty much
Mhm.
hear about the same stories every year. So anyway, that brings us to what we're doing now. Is we want to talk
Yes.
about some hidden figures that we've learned about in passing, or we're actively looking to, because Black history is at risk right now, right?
Right? And
Um,
what, as you introduced it, I wanted to mention who actually invented Black history. So I was
it's
looking
a
this
white,
up, and
it's a white man, wasn't
it,
it?
no, it's a black man. Actually, it
Mm,
started. His name is Carter Goodwin Woodson. He was
mm,
born December 19th, 1875, and lived to April 3rd, 1950s. And he was the one that actually founded Black History Week. It was a week at first, and it was called Negro History Week,
Yes, it was a week. Yes, I
right? And
remember
it was
knowing that. Yeah.
established in February of 1926.
Mhm.
So it evolved into a month, but he was the one that started it. So I just let thank you, Mr.
Mhm.
Godson, because
Mhm.
it's still around. Even though they try to play us, it's still around, and to note just earlier when you're saying, as a parent, I feel like, as a black parent, I know my child is not gonna she's not gonna learn much, or
Mm.
at least she's not going to learn past coming off of a ship. So
Okay,
I
right.
need to
Yeah.
supplement that. And that's a year round thing. So as parents, supplement. If we can go out as
Yes.
adults and learn these things about our Black history,
Show it to your kids.
please.
Yeah, I would say a lot of my learning outside of school,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say two things, because my parents are immigrants, and
Yep.
so they look at it like a little different. Like in Jamaica, they have it. My mom is Jamaican, so their history of Black history is very unique to the island,
Yes.
right? And
Very
how the
much so,
island
yeah.
came to be. And then my dad, he's African, so
Mm-hmm.
they look at it different. Like, they're not,
Yeah.
they don't. Everybody's black, right, over
Right.
there. Right?
Yeah.
So
There's no need for a history month. I
it's a
mean,
different thing.
yeah,
But I
exactly.
think here, what I would say for them, let's say for my parents, it's like, okay, black people have their time, and like saying, let's specifically talk about where we live and how it is here
Mm-hmm.
in Canada and Toronto in particular. It's like, okay, oh, black people are getting some shine. We can talk about it. We
Mm-hmm.
can share our culture. We can share
Yeah.
this. Da, 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 da. Yes, we talk about the history, but there's also a little bit mixed in of, we'll have, like, if you're Afro Caribbean, you talk about your foods or your where you
Yes.
come from, and if you're African, it's the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, when I was younger, I went to a special school
Mm-hmm.
for about a year. I would say it was a year, not more than a year. And there was two versions of it. Let's say 2 years. They were in different locations, but it was the same program. And it
Mm-hmm.
was run by black people. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the program. And I think I've
Tropicana?
heard, not Tropicana. They could have been affiliated, but
Probably,
not.
because there wasn't
They could have.
many back then. There wasn't many black
There
programs.
wasn't many, right? But I
Yeah.
think it was a group of people. I don't remember the actual name of
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
you're right. Tropicana could be affiliated. I
I
just
went to
don't remember.
Tropicana. I was there. I went for math.
So I
Yeah.
want they had it at West Hill.
Yeah.
They ran it out of West Hill, and they ran it out of Mary Shad, and Mary Shad, well, something I can't remember the name, but I just always
Yeah.
call it Mary Shad on
Mm-hmm.
Bellamy or whatever. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
on Midland. So it was run by black volunteers and
Mm-hmm.
educators, or people who believe in education, and they were helping us with our school. Like, make sure,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you get that extra help. It's like a little boost to help you with your homework and
Yeah.
stuff. And it was an amazing program. And that's where they would be very honed in on that. So you remember when they created the school here? I don't remember what it's called, but the school specifically for black students.
Mm.
I don't. I feel like those people might have been affiliated, and I'm so sorry I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, but their education curriculum was something similar to like that. So it's like, yes, we're helping you with your regular day-to-day school curriculum, but we're going to have an added layer to talk about Black history, your culture, the
Right.
importance in this country.
Right.
So that was outside of school was where I really learned a lot about Black history, um, even deeper. So
Yeah.
now, let's fast
Yes.
forward to where we are now.
Yes.
We're sharing, you know,
Mhm.
our relationship with Black history, especially as Canadians, which is very unique compared to maybe our listeners from America or
Mhm.
the UK
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And so, all right, so I'll start with mine. My first one
Yeah.
is going to be very makes sense. It's Canadian based. It's a Canadian figure,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and he was born in Jamaica.
Okay. A double
Name
whammy.
and double whammy.
I love it.
You have to. So his name is Rufus Rockhead.
Blood. They have to give the man name Rufus to blood clot.
Rufus, Rufus.
Jesus. Yeah, easy at tongue.
So,
Rufus.
so
Yeah, I can just imagine. Mhm.
Rufus Nathaniel Rockhead,
Lord God. Rockhead to boot.
Rockhead,
Rock steady the rocket.
Yeah.
Ah,
So,
I just can't. Sorry.
so funny. So Rufus Rockhead
Mhm.
emigrated to Montreal in 1916, and while he was here, he served in the First World War for Canadians,
Mhm.
and he
Mhm.
was in there as a forestry corps was when they were in France. So he fought in France for about
Mhm.
3 years. Following that, he was a porter
Wow.
in the
Okay.
rail on the Canadian Railway. Eventually, what he's known for is being the first Black businessman in um, Canada, more specifically in Montreal, and
Okay.
he opened a very famous jazz club called the Rock. It's called Rockhead's Paradise, and
Okay.
it was the first in the city to be owned by a Black businessman, and it opened in 1931 until it closed its doors in the 1977.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so this establishment became famous because remember, people Montreal has a massive jazz festival. I
That
would
is
say it's even
true. That is
bigger than
true.
Toronto's, and this establishment is basically the heart of the jazz movement in Montreal.
Wow.
So the club
Okay.
was famous for bringing high quality Black performers from particularly famous African American musicians and entertainers like Duke Ellington,
Wow.
Louis Armstrong, Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday, and Ella Fitzgerald. They were frequented the
Wow.
club very much in Montreal. And also, I we didn't talk about this, but another Canadian Black figure is Oscar Peterson. I always hear about him when I was
Okay.
growing up, and he was where he grew up and kind of his claim to fame as he grew as a musician. So the club was popular with both Black and white patrons, and you know, some people, of course, they face adversity and racism, but I think they persevered. It was open for over 40 years, and it became a it was
Mhm.
yeah, it became like I would call it a historical kind of figure. So Rufus Nathaniel Rockhead was designated a national public historic person by our government just last year. So it's sad, but just last year, the guy who pretty
Wow.
much brought is the heart of the Montreal um festival, who kind of brought jazz and blues to Montreal to where it could be such a big thing, and to which it's one of their biggest festivals, kind of had to fight to get that. And so big ups Rufus Rockhead and Rockhead's Paradise, the
Okay,
big
Rufus.
established. Yeah, it was huge. He brought big names to Montreal and put Montreal on the map as a jazz destination.
Mm-mm.
Um, my second thing is kind of like a cultural hidden figure, and
Mhm.
it's something I think I've heard before, but I think I kind of read up on it more today. And I think it's relevant to kind of what's going on,
Mhm.
particularly in the US right now. In that All right, the hidden figure, or not necessarily the figure, but the hidden cultural impact, let's put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
around Cadillac.
Okay.
Cadillac and Black excellence. So when Cadillac first, launched itself
Mm-hmm.
up in America, it was obviously it's a popular brand name for cars, and we know that it's always been. We think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they first established themselves in the 1920s, around when cars began, which is the 1920s, like the kind of cars as we know it,
Mm-hmm.
and by the 30s and 40s, a lot of particularly in the big cities where there's a lot of affluent black people, where they have doctors, dentists, lawyers, and stuff like that, they would be able to afford a car, but Cadillac would not sell to them.
Oh.
So by the 1930s and 40s, these entrepreneurs and entertainers and doctors um basically were getting help from their white allies, their friends, to
Mm-hmm.
help them buy the cars. So let's say I'm an entrepreneur, I have the money, I'm good to go, but this dealership isn't even going to sell to me. Can you believe I have money and they don't want to buy? That's
Kayam
crazy.
Fiesti.
PSD. Anyway, so they would use their friends to go make the purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how these people, black folks, are able to drive Cadillacs. By the 1950s, Cadillac couldn't ignore black buying. They couldn't ignore black buying power. That's why I'm talking about this. They shifted their stance, and the car became a symbol of wealth, resilience, and social status in black communities.
See
From
that?
Dr. Martin
Mm-hmm.
King, from the MLK riding in his Cadillac during the civil rights movements, to the we always hear about hip hop artists and jazz musicians, and they're in their songs always talking about the caddy, the Cadillac. That's always a reference in jazz music, black rock music, up into hip hop music. It's a cultural signal of affluence in our community, in the black community, particularly black
Mm-hmm.
Americans. The black community took the Cadillac from exclusion to aspiration. By the 60s and 70s, Cadillac was marketing directly to black consumers, advertising in publications like Ebony, Jet, and tapping to the cultural that has made the brand, literally, it's a legend and status symbol, because black people said it was a symbol of status. And I
Okay.
brought that up because black buying power is very important in during the times that we are in
That
right
that
now, and
is
I think
very correct.
it's a good reminder of that. So that's what I had to share for this week.
Well, I looked at very basic into the people that I was looking into. One
Mm,
of them that I wanted to discuss is a black woman by the name of Patricia Bath.
mm,
She invented and specialized the laser for removal of cataracts and became
mm. Oh, that's huge.
the first African American woman doctor to receive a medical patent. Can you
Mm,
imagine that? The brilliance of this woman. She is the first woman that ever had a medical patent. You know how many
mm,
doctors that were black
mm,
back in the day that helped with the Civil War, that helped with the,
mm-hmm,
can you imagine that we just get, anyhow,
mm.
I didn't
Yeah,
look too deep into it. I'll be honest, I didn't do my
that's
homework as
okay.
well
You're just talking about the name and what they did. That's
as
fine.
right? And for that I have three. I have three
Mm.
because I didn't do all of the research. But I will
Yeah.
look into these people, don't you worry. Another person is Alani Johnson. He actually invented the super soaker water gun. He worked for
Yes, I've
NASA
heard. Hmm.
in a laboratory, and he was the one that put together the idea of the super soaker. Now, I don't particularly like guns, even if they are super soakers, but to think that he was innovative enough to still have fun, like this is something that I
Yeah,
would think is
that's a
fun,
good point.
right?
Yeah,
Seeing that he's in NASA, all that kind of seriousness, um,
yeah.
right? And so, lastly, we all know George Washington Carver. Okay, now we all
Yeah.
know him for many things, right? But one thing that I wanted to discuss about him that I found fascinating about him was his abilities in agriculture.
Mm,
This man knew how to grow just about anything. He took the peanut and made so many different inventions off of just a peanut.
mm,
Okay, his farming methods back in his time were unheard of. They just were unheard of. But they used it as an alternative to I guess the everyday farming. So
Mm.
we all know about George Washington Carver. Go and look up more about him. We've probably heard him. He's one of the five people that you'll hear of in the
Yeah, but
school.
he's a guy who created peanut butter, right?
Yeah, and a variety of other things with peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
I believe he made the comb,
Okay.
the actual hair comb. So, with all of that said, though, I want to say there are so many inventors that are black, like so
Mm-hmm.
many that to this day we still use a lot of their inventions. And when I was looking up and going through the different people, I came across this list of black inventors and their inventions,
Mm.
right? And
Where'd you find it?
just in my scrolling through the Googles.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. But anyhow,
Yeah.
one of them that I wanted to mention was the home security system that we still use to today. Okay, was actually developed by a Marie Brown. And so let me see, is that the right name? Because this is so small. Yeah, Marie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a black woman who decided, you know what? You're not breaking up into my house. Okay. So she decided to invent. There's so many other things that I was fascinated to see, like the kitchen table was H.A. Jackson. The motor, J. Gregory. Let's see. The motor that you would put into just a regular motor, like an everyday motor that you would probably use on
Mm-hmm.
like a lawnmower, for instance.
Mm. Okay.
Um, the traffic signals,
Yeah, I heard that one. Know that
Garnet
one. Yeah.
Garnet Morgan, which
Mm-hmm.
actually he's Canadian, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But a lot of the time back in those times, they might have made it to Canada, but if they were caught or found, they would be brought back to America,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so some of these inventions, the people were actually Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
However, with history being so distorted, they a lot of people think that they're American, but they're not. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, these are just like these are just a few little things that we're mentioning. If you were to actually take an opportunity and look, what I do like is black people are taking social media as a way to communicate the goodness of black people. We already know the struggle.
Yep.
We
Mm-hmm.
already we know about the ships, the shackles. We know about all that. But can we hear some goodness? And I feel like on this podcast, me and Jeanette go out of our way to highlight the goodness of Black people during
Mm-hmm.
this month. That we were innovators, we were
Yep.
creators, inventors, we were brilliant. I think last year we talked about the mother and daughter that went up to space together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when we achieve big. You know why? Because we always have to walk in excellence. We always have to walk in excellence. So when I see this long list, okay, and this is probably just capturing just a little bit of what we
Mm-hmm.
know, because a lot of the times it was unknown or it was stolen, the idea.
Hidden Figures.
Like Jack Daniels, for instance.
Oh yeah, the yes.
Okay.
Do you know
So
about the American? Do you know about the So the black man that helped Jack Daniels. Do you know about the brand that they have for him?
no, I didn't. I didn't hear what did they have? What did they have for him? No.
So there's the family of the man who create like who the black man who helped with the recipe of Jack Daniels liquor. They have a very popular whiskey now that is that's what I'm trying to find the name. There's a family Nathan. Okay, nearest. Okay, they call it nearest. Um, the man's name was Nearest Green, but he was a man who helped them, Jack Daniels, create that. I guess the word is I don't know formula recipe for Jack Daniels whiskey. Because back in the day, moonshine could kill you.
Yeah, you're drinking straight alcohol, like rubbing alcohol almost. Like
so he helped Jack Daniels with the formula, so it was actually something you could drink. Oh, it's okay. So the man's name was Nearest, and the name of the whiskey is Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey.
Wow.
So yeah, great story there, right?
Right?
All right. So
Yes. Oh, and
those
one
were
other person I wanted to acknowledge because I found this to be fascinating, that
yeah.
Dr. Shirley Jackson, she was accredited for inventing the belt, the touch tone telephone, the portable fax machine, caller ID, call waiting, fiber optics cable. This is all black invention by a black woman, Shirley
Mhm.
Jackson, Dr. Shirley Jackson. So I like to put as many of them out there as we possibly can, so you guys all could look it up. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. There are more to that legacy. That's all I
Yes,
wanted to say.
definitely.
But anyhow,
Nice. All right.
yeah, a
So
little Black history, little
that's our
piece.
little Black History moment that we'll probably get to do one more time for this month.
And I'll be better
Okay.
prepared for y'all. I'll be better prepared.
No, that was good. No, that's good. That list is actually pretty good. I think, if there's a site or a particular site where you found that and you think it's good, you can share it next time.
Yes.
Listen, we can't learn everything in a day. We're just saying, if you have especially have a kid, or if you're curious and you want to educate them, look up these names and
Mm-hmm.
share, because depending whether they love science, whether they love
Yeah.
music, whether they love I don't
True.
know, education, whatever it is they love, there's
Mm-hmm.
something for them there. Trust me.
Yes.
So we'll move from the excellence, the black excellence,
Yes.
to the black. What in the hell is going on here?
Cause I don't know. Cause I don't know.
We don't know. So there is a
Please and me.
viral story coming out of Pakistan,
This woman.
with a African American
Ugh.
woman from New York who traveled to Pakistan, supposedly, allegedly, to go and marry a 19-year-old that she met online.
19. Let's just
How?
make sure we highlight that age.
Yes, you have
19.
to remember. I think when we go through the story, it's important to remember that the man is. They're calling him a man, but that's a 19-year-old
He's
boy.
a little boy.
Upon arrival, based on reports, the man rejected her, and because he rejected her, the family rejected her. Right. So the man and the family was like, "What?" So they left. So, like, let's say they had a place they agreed to meet where she when she landed, and they, maybe upon arrival and them meeting her, they're like, "What is this? This
Yeah, they
woman is
saw some old face, old back woman, 40-year-old woman coming for the picnic.
she's
Yeah.
she's 30. I think there's documents on her. They're saying she's 33, and even though Kim and I don't think she's 33, I'm
No.
assuming they have seen her passport documents and everything. So I'm
Mm-mm.
assuming the reports are correct that she's 33,
No, we need to
even though
see a
she
birth
doesn't look.
certificate. I don't believe it.
Well, I want to add more to that story. So, in terms of her age, so they left her stranded in the house. So she was pretty much, and this is in October. The story is just going viral
Can
now.
you
So
imagine February?
she traveled there in October, and she hasn't left. I'm hearing reports that she may have left within the last 24 hours, but I haven't only seen that on social media. I haven't seen it on official news reports that she's left. So until I see that, I'm going to assume she's still there wreaking havoc over there in
Until I
Pakistan.
see a news report of her walking in
And
the
when she
airport.
lands, and I'm sure when she lands in JFK in New York,
Okay.
there's going to be a lot of press. There's
Okay.
going to be a lot of press when she lands, okay?
And I want to listen. They might say, the people in India, Pakistan, might say that she's gone, but I know what they do to women in the Pakistan. Okay, we've seen it before,
No, it's so well documented that,
right?
no, I
So
don't think
I need to
anything's
see
gonna.
her coming off of a plane. I need to see her at the airport in order for me to believe that she's left Pakistan. I need to see it because you can say whatever you want and go throw her in a river somewhere. I want to see her coming off. I want to see that publicity right there because I don't believe it until I see it, and I can't even believe that she's there. Like
It's crazy.
I
And then now the videos,
Lord.
and like the Pakistani people are like, She's now a Pakistani superstar because you're
Yeah,
all like, what is this American woman
crazy
doing here?
ass.
There's all these videos and everybody's coming to Karachi to meet her. And they're like, the one thing I could say, as like we said, because and we're not being stereotypical here. Like,
No,
if one thing like there's been a lot of stories of Pakistani community in Canada and United Kingdom.
many,
Their form of, I won't say it's a religion. I will say maybe it's a cultural thing, but they're very unforgiving to women. They have a whole thing
very
about
much so.
honor, and like they're very, women are very, it's you have to be careful as a woman in that culture, especially if they're more strict. If you're in the, like, you're really traditional
Yeah, you have to be
Pakistani
very
situation.
careful.
And so we've heard stories of a lot of women in
Yeah,
that, from that country or that culture, like like people who are from there, being like seriously, they have serious violence or killed
yeah,
because there's some kind of honor code, supposed woman honor code
yeah.
that has been broken. And so that was where our worry for our American sister is
Even
coming
though
from.
she's
Her name is
acting a damn fool.
yes, but I think her name is Onisha, and Onisha Robinson. She's 33, mother of four, from New York. She met the boy online and they made arrangements. Her son, I'm basing this on a video that I saw of her son. His face is blocked, but there's a video of her son, and he's showing his birth certificate. That's where the age thing came up. Or he's showing his birth certificate with her name and his name to prove that he is her son. And he's saying, the mom, contrary to the story that she's telling Pakistan media, she was just supposed to go there. And I know this experience, when you're having a marriage link up or situation going on, you have to go and feel it out. You can't just go and say you're getting married.
I,
So what it was
I
an
don't know.
arrangement for her to go and meet him and the family. There was no wedding was supposed to happen. That when she went there, they invited her to come and meet him, the boy, and his family. And you know how it goes when you're arranging a
Yeah,
marriage or setting up, moving towards marriage. You have to have that initial meetup, especially with this online business. You can't
right,
just. And so the son was saying she just was supposed to go there and meet with them. No marriage was supposed to happen. And obviously, when they see that it's a grown ass woman,
right.
and she
Look
and she's
nothing like the picture.
who looks nothing like the pictures and everything, who's much older, and probably they don't know if they were expecting black women too, but
Okay,
um yeah, they were like, what is, they picked up and left. They're like, no, 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 this is not
we're not
happening.
letting our son go with you. Are you
And
crazy?
so she was supposed to come back on January the 16th, and the boy as well showed the ticket that the people arranged, bought the ticket for her to come back on the 16th. And again, she refused. And so now that's why we're seeing all this stuff, because she's been staying in that empty house, wherever that house was that she was set up to meet the family, and they picked up and left. She's been causing havoc because all the media and all these people are coming to see about this lady, and it's causing a commotion in the
Yeah,
community.
very much so.
He also mentions in that video is about like her mental health, which I think everybody was questioning based on what we
Mm-hmm.
were seeing, but he confirms that, like, yes, she does suffer from mental illness. And so um yeah.
The way
So
that
but
I saw
I
her
must
talking
say,
to the people, okay, like these are
yeah,
officials, and
it's
she's
funny.
talking to
I
them
want,
like there's
yeah, she's
somebody
like,
on the
I
street,
want
and I'm
$100,000
like,
or
girl,
more. I'm not leaving until I get my land.
oh
And
my god,
so
I just
she is, okay. Yes, we're acknowledging his mental illness, but we have to also say that she. I don't know if she's a practicing Muslim really, but she's saying all the Muslim things like
mm-hmm.
praise to Allah and stuff like that. And based on Muslim rule, when you marry, especially if she didn't marry, I think the main thing is they're not married, but when you marry, there's a lot of exchange of goods, right? So she's saying, and that's why she's saying I need my passport. Like, she's acting like she's married. She didn't marry the boy, so all these things that you would expect in a, especially in a Muslim marriage,
Right.
sh no,
Well, she's
no.
not. The parents haven't allowed it to occur. Like
Yeah, so she can't get a
this was
passport.
just a
She can't get.
meeting. Like I don't understand. She took it left.
Hmm.
Like you took it too
Hmm.
far. They just wanted to see. Okay, well, are you going to be a good addition to our family? Because my understanding of arranged marriages, that's really what is being connected are the two families. And so
Mhm.
the fact that she went down there already, built with her own family that she left behind, I don't know what lies she told these people, but I mean, they weren't expecting this. So she must have made a picture that really was grand, was a huge, grand picture. And these people were very much taken aback. And now this woman won't leave. You're nuts. Go on home.
Yeah, I think she's coming home shortly because her visa expired anyway, so she doesn't have a choice. I think end of January is when her visa expired, so she doesn't really have a choice.
And she was trying to collect as much as she could before she went back. But I always, when we were talking about this, I asked the question: How the hell did this woman make it to Pakistan? Because she had to
I
pass through how much different checkpoints? Like, really, nobody caught on that she's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Nobody caught on. Like, I'm not trying to play light on her mental situations. I get that, right? However, nobody, even the people who are looking after you, making sure you take your meds, like, how did you get past those people? How did you get past your son? How did, you know what I mean? Like, I
But
just,
this was arranged. Like this was a people everything arrangements were made. It wasn't until she got there and they saw her
so
where
you're
everything
telling
fell
me your
apart.
son is going to let you go to Pakistan? You're from Brooklyn. You ever been to
He
Pakistan before?
he's a kid. What say does he have? He sounds like he's maybe 15
But
at
he had
most.
more sense than her.
Yeah, well.
So, but anyhow, she's up in the Pakistan with her crazy
Causing
self.
havoc. Yeah, I think she's coming back soon though. So it'll be interesting to hear more of the story when she's back because I think there's going to be a big American media circus. Right now the Pakistani media circus is happening.
Right?
But when she comes, I think there's a whole new media circus and podcast tour my friend is going to be going on. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
she is a celebrity online.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, I'm just praying for a safe return, and it's unfortunate that you know I don't know. Something's going on there. Let's just put it that way.
Very much so. Very much so. But I do hope that she makes it back safely. I'll say that.
Yes, that
And
is
that,
most important.
whoever's in her family, you need to help her. She needs to be back on her meds. Maybe she needs to do a little time, in a mental facility to help,
Mm.
I don't know, regulate her, I guess, or
Yeah,
something.
and I think it's something she's been probably. This isn't. I don't think. Well, we don't know the story. It doesn't seem like it's new. Let's put
Right?
it that way.
Right. Right.
All
Well,
right.
all the best, girlfriend. Hopefully, you make it back to Brooklyn. That's all I gotta tell you. Watch how you're talking to them people, though. That's all I gotta tell you. Please and thanks, because
Yeah.
you're not in Brooklyn anymore. So, just be careful. And one thing I do want to note about that is, when you actually start traveling, you'll learn that you gotta follow the rules of the land.
Yeah, we spoke. Yep. Yep.
You just got to. If you want to make it home safely,
But I mean, she's wearing a hijab. She's saying praise to Allah. I mean, at least she's being respectful of the religion because it's
yeah,
very.
because she ain't respecting those officials that are there telling her to leave. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Good luck to
Right.
you, girl. Good luck.
All right. We'll go on and talk about the recent death of Irv Gotti.
Yes.
Yeah, he suffered another stroke um this week.
Mhm.
Because before he had a stroke, I think sometime last year, and they were saying he was recovering, he was getting better, and then this week on February 5th, it looks like it was must have been a major stroke because after the announcement that he had a stroke, by the end of the day, they confirmed his death. So Irv Gotti, as we know, is the big record producer who was the founder of Murder Inc. He's
Mhm.
responsible for their launching the careers of Ja Rule, Ashanti. He played a big role in DMX's career as
Yeah.
well. And so, despite he obviously, everybody has good and bad in their life, and despite that, we can't dismiss the influence he had on the culture, right? And
Mhm.
so we have talked about Irv Gotti, unfortunately, with kind of some of his questionable dealings with his artist Ashanti, as
Mhm.
well as we find us finding out that while he was launching her career, they were having an affair. She
While
would
he
have
was
been in her
married.
late.
Yeah.
He was married, and she would
Mhm.
have been very young at the time, like a late teens
At
at the
best,
old
yeah,
at
17,
best the
18.
late
Yeah.
teens.
Mhm.
Yeah, so even that is kind of murky, right? And so
Yeah.
despite that though, again, his influence is in the music culture is undeniable. What I you know I was always curious because he's from New York. I always just thought he was like Dominican or something
Me
because
too.
he has a Latin American name, but he was his paternal grandfather was Filipino.
Really?
So that's where he kind of has that look and that name because he has a Spanish name, right? So you have this that,
Yeah.
but it's actually he that his name he has his on his father's side there's Filipino ancestry, and then his
Oh,
mother is African
wow.
American.
Okay.
So that was something interesting.
That is
And
interesting.
yeah, he had four grown kids, and they're all mourning his death.
Mhm.
And anyway, another reaction everybody was looking to see two main reactions,
Mhm.
and so the ones where it would be Ashanti and Ja Rule, of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
And so Ja Rule came out with his Heartbroken Def Jam recordings. um
Mhm.
who is this? Oh, that's Def Jam. Sorry, Def Jam
Mhm.
had a thing. Um, Ja Rule's. Let me go to Ashanti because that's the one we all want to see.
That's what I
So
would have. Mhm.
Ashanti posted on her Instagram, I can't believe things ended like this, and it makes me so sad. We weren't
Mhm.
on the best of terms for the past few years, but I've always said through our ups and downs, I will forever be grateful for everything you've done for me. We made history, and that will remain infinite. I've always respected your musical genius and ability to
Mhm.
push me to be my best. All the greatness and positive things that came far outweigh the dark and negative times. I have always prayed for you to find peace, sending love and prayers to the entire family. Rest well, rest in peace.
Mhm.
Irv. So she kept it classy. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you, especially when somebody's dead and gone, and the way he died so early.
Well, I
To
think
me,
she
that
already didn't. She already dealt with him.
yeah, she kind of
So
made her. She said
yeah.
what she had to say, and she's done what she's had to do, and so there's not much else to say, right? There's no
No.
point in um in carrying on when what's done is done.
And she's in a happy place. She's married. She just had a child.
As her
You
child,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like she's got the things that she wanted to have for her life. So to be a bitter Betty at this point, after you've already stated how you feel, you've moved on, you're in a happy place, I think she handled it with class. But you know what? That's no surprise for Ashanti.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's all. She's always been kind of like that.
When it comes to him, when it comes to
Yeah,
him, she's always kept it classy.
yeah, many times then it's always him kind of like showing his cards. Like he's the one who's kind of come out. Look, she doesn't have to say much. He just has to open his mouth in terms of the situation, and we already know that who
Yeah, he was salty. We all know he was salty. You know, still
mm,
many years later, moved on, but he was salty, and she always handled it well. And I will say to Ashanti, like honestly, girl, you could teach some of us out here how to handle things because you could have been, especially I think it was in 2019, just at the
mhm,
beginning of the pandemic. She let out a song. I think she did with P Diddy and one of the girls from City Girls.
mhm.
But yeah, so she was, she addressed it then, and she did it classy, man. She did it real classy, and she just kept it pushing,
Yep.
and so my hats off to Ashanti, because even right now, you could have still been like, you know what, I don't really want to even talk about it, or kind of dismissed it, but she kind of said
She
her
could have distanced
goodbyes.
herself. She could have distanced herself from it, but she didn't. And I'm glad because at the end of the day, she acknowledged it, and
Yeah,
we know that
she said her
despite anything,
goodbyes. Yeah.
He introduced her to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if there's anything we could say about
Mm-hmm.
that relationship, it's that. Okay, so Ja Rule didn't say, he just put out heart broke. His heart was broken. We know that he would be. And also, 50, my
Oh
boy
Lord.
50.
50 is too
Of course,
much.
50's has a decade long beef with the whole of
You just
um
can't take the people them.
the whole of
50 is too blasted petty for me sometimes, boy.
of
I
that
don't
crew
know.
the whole of that crew. So 50 put a very classless post of himself smoking hookah and saying that I'm smoking on that Gotti pack. Then
Really?
he put an apostrophe and said, "Nah, God bless him, angel or dove emoji, lol." Whoo,
50.
yeah,
You
50.
know,
You could have kept that one, but you know what? Somebody,
just jeez.
I don't expect anything more from him, to be honest. So
I don't, but in the same breath, like
he
50,
could have been
come
quiet.
on, man.
He could have waited a week. We knew this was coming. Don't get me wrong. I knew a classless um
Something was gonna
social
happen with
the
him.
social post was gonna happen. But what I was like, you couldn't wait a week for the man
You
to
know what?
pass.
Can he get into the ground first good before
You,
you start? Like,
yeah, right. His body isn't even cold, and you're coming out with that.
golly.
So I was like, eek.
You
But
know? But
he
here's
did
the
it,
thing
and
with 50 that I don't like. Okay? Petty, okay, fine.
Mhm.
But nobody cared. Nobody asked. Like,
No, nobody.
it's not like you could have just, if someone passes away and you had a beef with them, it ends right then. You know, you
Yeah,
didn't have to
true.
say nothing. Just keep it to yourself, bro. You know, because sometimes you look petty to the point where it almost becomes like a nasty taste in people's mouth. You know, it's a turn off. Like the man's dead. Like relax. You know, like you couldn't wait for him to be in the ground good. Like stop, 50. You need to work on that, 50. You need to work on that because I don't think it's healthy. You know, something about
Hmm.
it's not healthy. It's funny as shit, but it's not healthy.
The most important, I think, a big, how I'm gonna end talking about, Irv Gotti,
Hmm.
the reaction to Irv Gotti's passing, because he was only 54.
Young.
This man had plenty of years to live.
Yeah, he was young.
The only thing they said around the time of his first stroke was that, like, he struggles. They mentioned something about diabetes,
Hmm.
which is very common in the black community, especially when you pass middle age.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't help if you don't eat well, if you drink alcohol and you don't have a
Yeah.
healthy lifestyle. It makes something like that even worse than what it is. But I don't. To die from it, to get a debilitating
Hmm.
stroke from
Hmm.
diabetes, I think there was probably some other underlying issues. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. So anyway, in reaction to this, when the announcement came out that Irv Gotti was on life support, Russell Simmons put a post on his Instagram that I feel that is very important for. I mean, Russell Simmons, very problematic figure, but
Right? Stay in
the
Bali.
message. Let me ignore the messenger
Ugh,
and
just
focus
stay
on
your
the
ass in
message.
Bali. You want to be in Bali? Stay your ass in Bali. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
stay there. I spoke. He posts. I spoke to my good friend Irv very recently. He was, as always, incredibly energetic and optimistic. We talked about his new idea. I gave him the number to the person he needed to speak to. Then I expressed my concern about his health. He agreed that it needed his attention. He promised me that he would come. He would come to um Godas. I don't know what this is. Maybe this is somewhere in Bali, and it says GDAS. I don't know what that is, but he said he'd come to Godas and undergo tests and begin the natural and medical treatments. I promised him that if he came, I would guarantee that he would add 20 years to his life. He never got to come. This is all so disturbing. So many of my friends are at risk. American food, lack of exercise, and the toxic, frantic Arab environment is killing my friends one after another. Today, I am praying for Irv and all black men my age and under. They are poisoning you. Please pay attention.
Yeah, I agree.
And I
That
think
last
it's
part.
true. The food that you're eating, they put hormones in it.
Oh, lots
Um,
of things that I put in
they
it.
They're and some of them don't have any nutritional value. This ready-made stuff, just eat natural, organic. If you go to the grocery store, now you don't have to buy organic, but go to the grocery store and buy your food. Buy your ingredients. Don't go to these restaurants or go to these ready-made like
Cook.
frozen food.
Just
Yeah,
cook. Cook your own
cook
food,
natural,
man. Cook your
cook
own
your
food.
own food, and you can afford a chef. Even if you don't cook, you have a chef to do the cooking for you. You have the
Right?
natural ingredients from this grocery store
Well, I
because we don't
strongly
know what's in
believe
this
that
food.
cooking is a skill that everybody should have. Everybody should
You should know
know.
how to make them. You should know how to make two, three basic meals that you could
Yeah,
eat and
you
enjoy.
know,
I think everybody should know how to do that, and if you
and
don't,
with
learn.
information technology, the information highway that we have, like everywhere you turn is somebody teaching you how to boil an egg, how to
Yep.
how to fillet a fish.
YouTube is your. Even
Like,
when I cook recipes that I kind of know, I still kind of do a little
yeah,
gut. I used kind of do a little video thing to be like, okay, let me see some other techniques how
you
other people
never
do it. I'm like,
know. You
you
never
never
know. There
know.
could be, like, today I saw, quick side note. I saw a no
Mhm,
video about
mhm.
how to boil an egg and to deshell it without having
Yeah.
to even touch it. So you
Mm.
crack the egg on the counter, you boil it. Not crack it to the point where it starts to come out. Just to
Yeah.
crack it. You boil it. Then you fill up a bowl that has a lid with the
Mhm,
coldest water that you can get. You take it from the
mhm.
hot water, you put it into the cold water, you cover the lid, and then you shake it. You shake
Oh
the
yeah.
egg and it literally will separate the shell
From the
from the
shell.
egg. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I know how to boil an egg already. Like, that's like
But I don't know.
101.
I've been burning up my fingers trying
But
to take out.
I'm trying to tell you. You see what I'm saying? So even though, like what you just said, I know how to do that. But now there's a more efficient way of doing it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So
yeah, it's out there.
prayers up to Irv Gotti and his
Yes,
family,
R.I.P.
and
Yes.
it's just a message, a reminder. A lot of especially Black and African American people, we have to eat better. Don't be eating these like fatty, high salt foods. It's been You've been told wrong. We're seeing the result
Right?
of people dying in their 50s. People aren't supposed to die in 20. It's 2025. People are not supposed to die in
50?
their
Are
50s.
you kidding me? Come
Nasa.
on, with the technology that we have nowadays,
No
there
way.
shouldn't be. But one thing I wanted to culturally, I wanted to
Yeah.
say that because me and Jeanette we have a West Indian background, I'll be honest with you, we didn't grow up with a lot of junk.
No, no.
We just didn't. And that could be, or probably is, because of our parents and how they were raised. They were raised around fresh fruits. You walk down the street to pick, and you could pick a mango, like fresh fruits, fresh produce, fresh meat, and so they kind of adapted that here in Canada the best way they could, and they taught us. Cooking was like something that you had to learn. It wasn't a choice. Whether you like it, that's something different. Do you know how to? That was something that we didn't. I know my Jamaican mother didn't give me no damn choice. She said, "You better find your ass in the kitchen." Okay, so we have to cook such and such, and it's a skill that I'm so grateful that was, taught to me, because now as a grown up I can say, no, I'm not going to go to a fast food restaurant for 3 meals a day. That's
No.
crazy
That's
talk.
crazy.
That's
That's
crazy talk.
crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, I just culturally I feel West Indian parents, because of where they're from, they would rather fresh. They want fresh stuff. They don't want things that are preserved and all of these things. And growing up, I didn't have a lot of juice. I had three choices: water, orange juice, or milk. That was it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So, like I had to beg my mom for a bag of chips. What you mean? I had to beg. Like, I had to scrub out the toilet bedroom for a bag of chips. See me? So it wasn't. I didn't grow up with that, and so I'm passing that on to my child. So if
Mhm.
you're out here and you don't know how to cook, it might be a skill that you should go and look about, and so that you can cook your meals and be stronger and healthier. Because he is right. The food that's in the States, especially
Mm,
those dyes that they put in that food. My goodness. Them dyes will
mm-mm.
kill you. They'll give you cancer, all sorts of prostate, this, that, and the third. So yeah, you need to learn. It's a good thing to learn. And but other than that, wrapping that up, R.I.P. Irv Gotti. My heart goes out to your family. You are very young, and I hope that the people that were in your circle are learning from this. I really
Mm.
do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we'll move on to a quick. We're not going to talk too much because I don't feel like this even done. So Kanye West went on one of his rants on Twitter
Lord Jesus,
this
Kanye, you make me
week.
tired. This
Yes, he's he's exhausting.
just makes me
It's almost kind
tired.
of hard to know what is real and what's performance. That's the thing with him, I think. And maybe that's bad of me because I think that I don't take him seriously.
How
But
could
now
you?
it's kind of
Like,
I can't, and I still don't. But it's he finally is. This is like really crazy. So anyway, he's pretty much okay. He went on a flurry. You know when he goes
yeah,
on the
I heard
flurry.
all the things that he had to say. I sure did.
And at first it started with him talking about Diddy and talking about how fair it is about what's happening to him. He had a video of him talking to Diddy's son, and then following day he released a collaboration, a Sean John and Yeezy collaboration, saying that the funds would support Diddy in his legal situation. Um, yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Right?
And then going forward, following that, the other thing is when we're going to talk about the Grammys, but
Mm-hmm.
when he pulled that stunt with his wife during the Grammys, obviously a lot of people continue to talk about
Mm-hmm.
how he's parading his wife nude and et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
He had a crazy tweet on that and said, "I have dominion over my wife. This ain't no joke. This ain't no woke ass feminist shit. She's with a billionaire. Why would she listen to any of you dumb broke bitches? People say the red carpet look was her decision. Yes, I don't want her to do anything she doesn't want to do, but she definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my approval, you stupid ass woke pawns. I have no respect or empathy for anyone living, because no one living can F with me, but I do love some people and I give them favor." So that's in reference to the whole backlash he's getting about his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes on with some Hitler shit.
Oh, here we go.
That's when I was like, Jesus
Just shut
Christ.
up.
And he says, he pretty much, I can't find it in front of me. Oh yeah, he says, "I love Hitler. I'm a Nazi." Just some, and then he called anti-Semitism just some bullshit Jewish people made up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "I'm never apologizing for my Jewish comments. I can say whatever the f I want whenever, and I want to say forever. Suck my D
Mm-hmm.
and know that suck my D. How's that for an apology?" And he pretty much just sentiment is like praising Hitler, and then the sentiment is nobody can like tell me nothing. I can't be canceled, etc., etc., etc. That's the message. I'm not gonna go back, but I was like, Jesus, this is like literally this is literally the definition of anti-Semitism. Like this is literally like before you were talking about business and it was kind of great murky, but now it's like this is clearly like this is like ooh, this is hate speech.
It
This is hate speech.
is. It is
Yeah.
very much hate speech.
Hmm.
Even though it, oh my god, this man, oh my god,
Yeah,
Kanye.
but yeah, it'll be. I feel like here's my thing as somebody who has followed his career and his movements, even though I should have stopped years ago. This is how I see it. It's still hate speech and it's still disgusting and it's still terrible and I'm totally against it. This is no joke. But he has an album coming out. And if
Mm-hmm.
you pay attention to his outbursts, there is a pattern to when he kind of has these meltdowns slash outbursts.
Mm-hmm.
It's always being around some type of release. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of chaos. On one way, you could say, "Oh, all the stress gets to him, and he's like
Mm,
spiraling." On another hand, I'm like, he's trying to drum up. This is to him. This is publicity because he
Yeah,
knows people are going to talk and call him crazy and try to like, and his name is going to be trending because of the hate speech and all of that. So I kind of look at it. I kind of see a publicity stunt in it. That's just my thinking.
it is a publicity stunt, 100%. That's how he moves. However,
Mhm.
there's limits to your stunts.
Yeah,
Okay, and I think you went so beyond that
yeah, this is
limit
ridiculous. Yeah.
that I don't think you're gonna get what you think you're gonna get from this album.
Mm,
Like I
no.
don't. Not necessarily because of the, anti-Semitic
Mhm.
verbiage and all that rubbish. Not even so much that. It's just people are tired of you, Kanye. They're
He's
tired.
hiring.
I know I'm exhausted, okay?
Mhm.
This doesn't okay. The thrill is gone. The excitement behind your stunts
No, we
are
just want you
over.
to keep it classy. We want you to release. We
Nobody
want you to
really
do what you
cares anymore. Like your stunts are so regular that nobody cares.
Mm,
So that's why you have to amp it up. That's why you have to take it to a next level because you realize that people don't really care for your antics. He also said that slavery was a choice. He kept that rhetoric and stood 10 toes down on that stupid shit.
mm,
Um, and he said a lot of things that, I could see some people might, I don't know, diehard Kanye fans, maybe.
mm.
But even them are probably like, really, Kanye? Really?
Oh, any. If you're a Kanye fan, you are exhausted.
Ah,
You are.
how could you not be? I mean, the initial diagnosis of bipolar, I think we've kind of seen that that is probably the best diagnosis for him. Because just a few
I
years ago this man was talking about, God and had Sunday service and all of this. Now you have, and also saying that Kim was exposing herself too much and this, that, and the third. Years later, and it seems like you're walking hand in hand with the devil. It seems like you're selling your wife. That's what it seems like. So when I think of all the diagnoses that I've heard for him, bipolar stands strong. I've been around bipolar people. I've had conversations with bipolar. I've seen episodes of bipolar people,
mhm.
and this manic behavior, yeah, yeah. The new diagnosis that he's saying is that he is been,
Autistic, which I agree. I think you could always see that in him. Like
yes,
he
but
always
I
seemed like he
think
was on
he
a spectrum.
was a high
Oh, obviously,
functioning,
yes, of
to the
course.
point where it could be disguised for
I think
genius.
yeah, most high functioning people with autism are usually brilliant at that level of brilliance. No matter whether it's mathematics, arts, whatever, they're
Exactly,
always
and I
on
can
the
see that.
genius.
I can see that.
Mhm.
However, I think Kanye is taking drugs.
Oh,
Like he's
maybe.
on. What did I hear the other day? It was just a few months ago. Was it horse tranquilizers that he was running?
Well, I don't know.
Or was it
I don't
horse
know.
tranquilizers or something else that he was running that was very toxic to the body? But anyhow, Kanye, just sit the hell down.
Yeah.
You know what would be,
Anyway,
if you really, really want some publicity, if you really want to rock people's nerves, shut the hell up.
yeah, act normal. Act not
Just be
crazy.
quiet. Because you
Be
know what?
quiet.
I
People will be like,
found
"What?"
when people get a break from you, that's when they're searching. Did you
They're most
hear Kanye?
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll make a pact. We won't talk about him again until that album drops,
Please.
which
Yes,
which I
I'm
I
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
we're not going to talk about Kanye until the
Nope.
album
I
drops.
don't care
He's
what
just
the
so
hell he does.
exhausting.
Him and his wife. And to be quite
Well, we don't
honest,
care about that.
I don't know what, like, I at first I was like, blink twice if you need help, girl. But now I feel like maybe she her is a little on the,
They're trying to make it seem like it's some type of performance art, but I
no,
don't know. It doesn't. It's not coming across that way.
no,
Let me just put it that way.
no
It's
at
coming
all.
across very like it's coming across like you're a prostitute
Yeah,
that is
he's your
supposed to
pimp.
be. Yeah, and you're just being put on display.
Yeah, for the next buyer.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Even your daddy had to say, "Can you stop parading my daughter around like this? Like, could you stop? You're making her look like a slut. Can you stop?" And so the reason why I mention that is because it gives insight to how you were raised. So for me, when I heard that about her parents, right, or her father and her
yeah,
family being against this, I thought maybe she is having her own episode, her
she's
own
broken
manic
out. She's like,
episode. Who knows? Like, there
mhm,
must be something wrong with this girl that she'd allow this man to just parade her all over the place. Like, you don't hear her say not a goddamn thing. Has she spoke in the last few years? You know, like she just seems to be his dolly, life size dolly or
mm,
something.
life size dolly. Yeah,
That's what it seems like. You know, I don't know, but hey,
yeah.
if
Anyway,
she loves it, I like it. Hey, it's good for you.
here
It's
we
good
go.
for
That's where
me.
I'm at. Like, I mean, blink twice, still girl, but it's looking like you're all right. So I'm gonna be
Yeah,
quiet.
you had your full coochie on the damn Grammy carpet. So yeah, you have to be okay with some of this because you didn't look drugged out,
No,
right? So you looked
you look
very
pretty sober.
cognitive in the moment. So I don't know, but that's the pact. So everybody out there listening, you ain't gonna hear not a damn thing, okay, from me or Jeanette about this Mr. Kanye till the album drops, because I'm not giving him this energy. I'm just not doing it with him. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
All right.
Mm-mm.
No, I feel you. I totally get it. So before we get into our music news, and I think that's where we're going to
Mm-hmm.
end off on. Um, we're excited about the Super Bowl. Super
Yes.
Bowl this year that features Kendrick and SZA was added to the lineup. We didn't talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
but SZA was added to the show. She's had a big couple of her
Right?
last couple years have been huge. So I'm
SZA.
excited,
Mm-hmm.
and we know both of them are gonna when it comes to performing, both of them
Right?
out of this world. Both of them are gonna give us something
Crazy.
special. Couple of things. So he's been doing a lot of press leading up to the performance tomorrow. We're recording on Saturday, the day
Mm-hmm.
before the Super Bowl, and he was so he's doing some press. He was on Apple Music, they Ebro, and they have a hip hop show hosted by Ebro and another woman, her name is Nadeska, and he did an interview with them, very in depth. I was like, wow, I was like, I haven't seen him sit down for a while, and there
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of questions about kind of like the album, and like
Mm-hmm.
the whole beef with Drake, and kind of some of his thoughts, and it was really good. So I just recommend watching it. I'm not gonna add it. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think if you're interested in Kendrick, you're gonna come across it and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Something though that's been coming up is they're saying that there's this debate if he can perform Not Like Us because of some of the lyrics, because they're and Super Bowl, they're very
Mm-hmm.
family friendly. They want to be family friendly. They don't want any hiccups or
But
anything
they had
inappropriate
Dr.
happening.
Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem.
Right? That's what
Like,
people were
really?
saying.
Please.
Right? Right? So I don't know if people are just trying to drum up suspense
No, somebody
about
from Drake's team is still trying to get this shit flopped. I'm telling you.
I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to drum up suspense about whether he's going to perform that song or not. But if I think that he kind of like the man just won like 4 or 5 Grammys
For the one
for that
song.
song,
The one
for
song.
one song.
Oh gosh, Drake, it's
So
over. The one song.
the one song, one bloody song.
One bloody song.
He released an album. His album wasn't eligible to be nominated for a Grammy. So that one bloody
The
song.
one song.
So,
Oh my.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's all foolishness. I think he's gonna perform the song.
Yeah,
There's just no way
want to
he
make it
can't perform that.
extra.
There's no way he doesn't perform that song.
No, we just gave you how many Grammys for the damn song? You will perform the
That's
song. Okay?
he didn't perform at the Grammys.
Exactly,
So
because everybody's like, "We'll see you at the Grammys, or we'll see you
he-
at the Super
the
Bowl
Super
just
Bowl.
now." So it's okay
Yeah.
if you don't
So
perform because we want you on that stage. We in the
yee.
half times, okay?
I'm so
I'm
excited.
so
So
excited. That's the only
we'll
thing
talk
about
about
football I
it.
want to see right now.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
that
talk about it
halftime
next
show.
week. It's gonna be, I think, a lot. I think. Listen, Super Bowl always gets a lot of views. A halftime show always gets a massive amount of views. I think this might be a record breaking one for some
Jeanette, you
reason.
really think Kendrick could leave that stadium without performing that song?
No,
Oh,
I mean he
okay.
has to. I just said it.
Because
The man just won 4 or 5 Grammys for the one bloody song.
there's no way in hell he could
You,
leave
if
that
you
stadium
if you
without
ask
performing
if
it.
you if you asked me this 2 weeks ago, I'd have been like on the fence because of they're trying to say inappropriate, whatever, whatever. But now I'm like, oh come on, he will.
Ju-
It's not even. If he has to say 2 lines, just two
Or
lines, he's gonna
even
do it.
just drop the intro. Like, just drop. He
That is,
cannot.
we're going to hear some
He will
version of
not
that
be
song.
able to leave that
And
stadium.
so
That's all I gotta
Drake
tell
and
you.
OVO, everybody just brace yourself. Everybody brace yourself. That's why Drake is in Australia. He's doing an Australian tour.
Yeah,
Australian
you
tour.
go stay on the
It's
other
good.
side of
It was a
the
good
world.
idea for him
Yes.
not to be around this time.
No, nowhere near America.
Don't be anywhere near.
No.
Okay.
Don't even come
So
Canada. Don't even come over here. You have to stay down there.
no, no,
Until the Super
no,
Bowl,
no,
okay?
man. Drake, you can come home. You can
No,
come home if
keep
you
your
want.
ass
That's okay.
in Australia. You keep yourself in Australia, sir. Okay? No, for real, because
No, I'm gonna say no,
you're
Drake. I
holding
didn't
on
say that.
strong for Drake, and
I am. I am.
maybe I don't have any, uh patriarchy. I don't have nothing for Drake because
I
Drake,
can't. I can't. I'm not gonna throw him away yet.
I have
No.
dash you away. I'm telling you right
No.
now. Jeanette
No.
knows when I dash you away too.
I can't. I can't believe this. Anyway, I'm not a part of that.
I'm a
Anybody?
part. I am down for it. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because when you started wanting to sue people, that's
Well,
when
that's
I was
corny.
like,
Yes,
Drake,
but
you lost me. You lost me, fam. You lost me. Guess why? You're just so salty you want to sue him. Are you for real? So guess what the Grammys did? They made sure he came away with how many awards for the one song? Okay, now you can sue him. Go ahead. And it's so sad. It's so sad how salty you look. You look. It just looks really bad, Drake. And you know what? To be quite honest, the fact that you're trying to sue and you were doing the same damn thing, yeah, it doesn't really rock with me. So I dash you away a long time. But Jeanette has hold on to you tight. So is she going to
yeah,
hold
I'm
on to
holding
you
on.
some
So
more?
I haven't thrown you away yet.
I throw you away. Keep your backside in Australia until after the Super Bowl. That's all I gotta tell you. Come back on Monday.
Okay.
You can come back on Monday.
So we will go on into our music news, and we're gonna end the show talking about everything around the Grammys. It was a big night. I would
Mm-hmm.
say it was a really good show. I didn't. I
Really
saw.
good.
I don't have cable, so I just see the come across clips. But I seen other things that I wanted to see. I made sure I saw the things I wanted to see. So we're gonna first talk about. Let's start with the outfits. We always start with the outfits before we get into the winners and drama and
Mm-hmm.
performances. Let's start with the red carpet. So,
Beyonce looked
um,
beautiful. Just put that out
oh,
there.
that dress is beautiful, and I saw a picture she posted a couple of days ago because she always when she does awards she kind of does like a backstage thing, and you could see all the
Mm-hmm.
details in that
It was very
dress. If you
nice.
look at the details, they're like kind of like these. When you see a bandana pattern, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they call it. It's like a paisley or something. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's white, gold, and beaded. So those white symbols, there's some symbols on there, and then some of the symbols on her gloves are kind of like the paisley pattern that you would see on like a bandana or when you one of those country
And
shirts.
yeah, and some of those patterns are actually the letter B in cursive.
Yes, you're right. And then they have
I
you're
was
right.
like, girl,
Wow,
girl,
you saw that?
Beyonce,
Yes,
don't play
yes,
around.
yes.
No, okay, stop.
The details, it's the details because if we do a throwback, okay, we're just talking about outfits, but if we do a throwback before she released Cowboy Carter, she was wearing that Louis Vuitton cowboy outfit with the hat and the
Mm-hmm.
skirt and the jacket, and so now we come full circle moment
Mm-hmm.
with her winning and stuff like that. So yeah, the Smith children, they looked Willow is a gorgeous as usual. Her face
Yeah.
card cannot decline. Her hair, her face were beautiful. I mean, I didn't mind her. I know it was just a panty and bra she was wearing, pretty much, but I didn't. You know what? She was wearing the overcoat. I think that kept it classy, and this nice satin shoes. I wasn't mad at it. Besides Jaden wearing that thing on his head,
The castle,
um,
the castle.
I think this suit is it's actually a pretty cool suit.
The suit was nice. If he just
It was
took
a
that shit
nice
off his
suit.
head, it
Yeah,
he could have been
and
artistic in a different way with a headpiece, but I thought that was kind of lame. Like it just took away from the suit,
yeah, it's like unless you tell us the message,
right?
yeah, it's like come on,
It didn't
right?
seem like there was much.
And Will looked really great too. That Balmain jacket, that was
Mm-hmm.
a really cool
Yeah,
jacket. So
yeah,
the Smiths came and showed out.
right.
Um,
Willow is such a pretty girl, though.
she's gorgeous. She
She's such a
is
pretty
drop dead
girl
gorgeous.
because she had one of those pieces in like it's in her teeth. I think she has a bit of a
Yeah.
gap and she put like a jewel or
Hmm.
something.
Yes. Yeah.
And when she the right like I saw her walking and she was stopping to take pictures and when she was, doing her body, doing her poses, uh, she smiled and I was like, "Woo." Because you saw
Yeah.
diamond, right? Like it just click.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
along with her skin was nice and like her makeup was nice and flawless.
Yeah. No, she
Her
was like
eyes, I was just
flawless.
like, "Geez, on Willow, you're pretty,
Face
eh?
card.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
pretty.
the face
Yeah,
card never decline on
no,
basically any of those people. To be honest,
you
any of that
know,
family.
even in the panties.
Yeah. They look and it was cute. They look like they were having a good
Yeah.
time. All right.
One person I want to
Uh,
call out though because I'm always on her
who-
ass about her hair. Taylor Swift
Wh-
actually looked
Taylor
nice,
looked good. I knew you were going to say that. I
girl.
was going to. Taylor's hair looked good.
She looked
Her
old
dresses.
Hollywood. That's how I
Oh, she
felt.
kept. Yeah, yeah. Because I know that's always your. She'll always have it. She always looks good in her dresses, as Aretha Franklin said, beautiful gowns. She's always well dressed, but her hair has always been kind of like, what's going on?
You don't have a
And she looked
stylist.
amazing. Her
Yeah.
hair looked amazing.
I was
You're
like,
the first person
girl.
I thought of when I saw her
Because
on the red carpet.
every other time. And the thing is, she's winning big awards, going up having big speech, and no one can put a hot comb or something through the girl head. I was like, please help her out. So when I saw her, I was like, you know what? Taylor?
She
That
was having a
red?
time. Yeah, she always looks good in red.
That red hit no because she had that red. If you look, she had it from head to toe.
Yeah, and her lips
The
too.
lips, the earrings, the nail polish, the ring,
Yeah.
the accessories.
No, she looked amazing.
She looked
She
really
hit it
nice,
out of
and
the
her
park.
hair just fitted all. It looked like
Mhm.
Hollywood old glam inspired hair. That's how I felt. But I had to put because usually I'm on her neck about her
I
damn
know
hair.
I never noticed it until you talked about her hair before. So when I saw her hair, I was like, Kim's gonna be happy.
Yes, I was like, okay, she heard us. Mm-hmm.
All right, and then so you're happy about Taylor. Okay, so I loved Cardi's dress.
I was
Cardi's
like,
dress,
wow, Cardi. You know
but
what I will say about Cardi though?
yeah,
She might present
no,
as though she is
no,
ghetto
she always
fabulous or something.
no, she
She
always
has
she knows how to
style.
pick a gown. She knows how to pick a
She
gown.
has like really elegant style.
Yes,
She does.
yes.
And the dresses that I've always seen her in were very like timeless pieces, but a work of art in the same breath. Like Cardi, don't sleep on Cardi. Don't sleep on
I
Cardi.
ain't
This
gonna say
girl,
that.
this
No,
girl has some great fashion
no.
sense.
Ever since she went to the Met Gala with that long gown, she's been knocking out of the park for years.
Right?
She hasn't let me down ever. And then
did
I
like her
wanted
dress. It was
anybody
very
else who
nice.
looked good before we get into the questionable people for you. Anybody else
Oh, okay.
who looked good before the questionable? Oh, Sabrina Carpenter looked really cute
Yes,
too.
yes.
I liked her outfit. Yeah,
Who else? There was
that you
Doechii.
liked.
I liked her outfit.
You liked her outfit.
I liked her outfit for what she was trying to be artistic, but she did it in a way that was kind of subtle. Like I could see it.
I think I just don't like that brand. The
Maybe.
brand, like not that brand, but I think the brand Tom Brown. She has a partnership with them, right? So that's why you actually she wears a lot of Tom Brown. But I just think that the style. I don't think I like the style for
The Grammys.
a red carpet for a red no, just for a red carpet event because you see it's like very corporate. It doesn't you can't
Right.
as much as they dress it up and they put a bouffier. it's not. So I actually didn't love it. I like Tom Brown for just regular clothes, but as a glamour look, no.
Right. Well, I the reason why I liked it is I okay, if you're gonna be artistic, right? Please don't go as far as what's his name? Willow what's
Yeah. Oh, Jaden.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Don't go as
Hmm.
far as there. But this was like, okay, I can see it. I get it.
It still look good, but it look. Don't get me wrong. It looked good. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like she had such a big night, and like that's what you're
But she
wearing.
was
I'm
on
sorry.
business. She was on
Okay.
business.
Okay. I like that.
That's
Okay. I
how
like
I
that
took it
angle.
away. And I mean, she walked away with
Yeah.
her little
She
Grammys.
walked away with her
Okay,
things.
so she was on
Got her things.
business. But
Okay.
yeah. Oh, one other person was Gorilla.
Oh
I
yeah, she looked
was
cute.
like,
Yes,
okay,
she did look cute. She did look cute. I
okay,
agree.
all right. I was like, okay, this is nice. You look beautiful. Not to say that she's not a pretty girl. Like Gorilla is a
Hmm.
pretty girl. She is.
Hmm.
However, there
No, but she was glammed
she
up.
was
She looked
glammed up,
very,
and she stayed
yeah.
glammed up instead of trying to bring the ratchet to the
Her
glam up.
dress was actually very, and she has a very petite body. It's just that, well,
Right?
it's hard. It's hard usually to pull off a gown, but whoever who styled her and put her together, she looks amazing.
I thought that she looked really nice. I thought she looked really nice. I will say, Will Smith was well dressed, but one thing, he must start look old, don't?
His age. Remember, the man must be
He's
going
coming
close
up
to
to
60.
60. Yeah, he's coming up to
He's
60.
coming up to 60, so hey, it was gonna happen
I know,
eventually.
but you know what? I guess it's because it's so long. Like he's just been
He
Will,
looked the same,
and
yeah.
so
So
now it's
yeah, his
like
age is starting to show a
a
little, yeah.
little bit, But
Mhm.
he still looked good though. Like he still looks,
Yeah, oh, yeah, I love that jacket
But
he
I
was
just
wearing.
thought, whoa! Like at first when I saw him, I was like, is that Will Smith? Let me look good because at first I was like, he looks a little old. Like,
There were some people mad that he was there. I'm like, listen, he
oh,
got banned
hush
from the
up,
Oscars, not the Grammys.
right?
Stop.
Please,
And he was only there to support the memorial tribute to Quincy Jones, who
yeah,
played a very big role in his career.
very big
So
role, yeah,
I'm gonna need those people to pipe down.
right.
Pipe down, motherfuckers.
Right? Let him be there. What? Okay, so okay, that's what I thought of.
So that's
Yeah.
your good. So that's your top. Okay, so now I have some question. Okay, so Coco Jones,
Oh,
girl,
girl.
this is the same problem
Oh.
all the time. Did you see her? Did you see the picture? Any pictures of her? If you didn't, take a look. If you can, take a look. But
Right. I thought I
she
saw her.
has
Hold
an
on.
issue with. She always has like it's a red or a burgundy dress. She's a beautiful girl, beautiful figure. I always feel she wears these dresses that need to be perfectly fitted, tailored.
Right.
You can't wear strappy dresses.
Right.
They have to when you wear strappy dresses, you need to be perfectly tailored because it could look hang down and clumsy, like it needs to hug you in every way more perfect than a regular gown,
Yeah.
because a regular gown is more forgiving than these
Oh.
cut out outfits. So beautiful girl, it could have been a great choice, but
I see it.
the fit
No.
the fit
Uh-uh.
was not the
No,
fit
that didn't make it. That
was
didn't make it.
all wrong,
That
girl.
didn't make it. That didn't
um
make it. You know what it is? I think she has a hard time with proportion. I,
But I don't care what you should have. Whoever is getting that dress for you, girl, it should be fitted, tailored to your body. That's the difference between a rich person
yeah,
getting a glamour gown and me getting a glamour
that's
gown. I
true.
might not be able to afford. I could buy it off the rack, but to pay the extra money to get it custom tailored,
Well, look at
girl, you have that
Beyonce. My
money.
girl had hers made. Like, stop. Her initials are all over her dress. Like, stop. But I think there's something with Coco that I don't know if she's trying to still be young and sassy, or if she thinks that because she is a chocolate sister, that she has to expose more to get the same
I think
appeal.
she's trying. She's young. I think she's trying to have like like have that
Yeah, this ain't
sexy.
it.
Like this is supposed to be a goddess dress, but you don't even look comfortable. The first thing to be when it comes to being a sexy siren, when like
Yeah,
like a let's think the person is the queen of that is Rihanna.
right.
You have to have all the confidence. First, it comes with confidence. Forget the
Yeah,
dress. You
true.
need to be completely and 100% confident with in all your glory, in any shape or form. You doesn't matter really your size. It's what how you feel in your body, and you think, yes, I'm the most sexiest woman on this goddamn planet.
Right?
And once you think that, you could wear anything
That's
and look.
true.
And you know what I mean? So I feel she like maybe this is a bad picture. She doesn't look
No,
comfortable.
I'm seeing
One
different angles and it just doesn't suit her.
and two, it doesn't. It looks like it's too. It's just no. All I'm gonna say is, if it was a different person, maybe, but she doesn't. She's not pulling it off. Let me just
She
put it
looks
that
like
way.
she's about to pop out the dress.
Yeah, you said it. I didn't want to say. I was gonna say it's looking a little
Yeah,
tight.
you're about to pop out.
Yeah, and
Um,
she's not big. She's not big or out of shape or nothing. But
no,
it's not fit. It's not your size, girl. They
no.
needed a little extra inch on that. You need a little extra
And when
inch.
you're looking
That's
at
all.
like her tummy area, it almost looks
Mm.
like it's giving her a fupa, and she doesn't
Yeah,
have a
you're seeing
fupa.
exactly what I'm seeing. It's not fitted. That's what I'm saying. It's not fitted right. It's
No,
making her look
no, and I don't
not
know why
flattering.
she can't get the right stylist. Is she styling herself? Because I've learned over the no, honestly, I say that
It's a good question.
no,
It's a good
because I've
question.
learned that in this industry, a lot of black women don't have stylists, or they don't have the people that know how to style black bodies, right?
Hmm.
Or hairstylists or makeup artists. So sometimes they have to do it themselves, or they bring along their own people or whatever. But
Hmm.
in this right here, this looked like you took this out of the back of your closet and put it on. That's what this looks
Yeah, it's
like.
not.
And you have a
I'm
really
waiting
good
for
wig
her to.
on. You have a really good
Yeah,
wig
the wig
on.
looks good.
The
I
wig and
agree.
your
The wig looks
makeup
good,
is
and the makeup.
your
Yeah.
face is facing. Your face is doing it,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
But it looks like the dress is wearing you.
Yeah. Well, I'm holding out for her to get it right soon. Gorgeous
When?
girl.
Because this is the
She's gonna get.
second letdown, Heffa.
No, no, it's gonna happen,
Jeez,
Kim. It's gonna
on.
happen. She's gonna learn from all the bad feedback. She's gonna learn.
You didn't learn
Okay.
from. Okay, okay. She's young.
Let's go to the questionables.
Well, this is
Um.
questionable.
Yeah. Sorry, We're in the questionables. We're in the
This girl
questionables.
right here is Coco. This
Yes,
right
I
here is
forgot.
questionable.
We are in the
Okay.
questionables. Okay. Did you see Kanye's ex, Julia Fox? Did you see her?
I did not. Hold on, I have to pull her
Oh, that's
ass up.
like she's been a mess. Um, Teddy
Oh, that
Swims, the guy who
actress,
sing.
model, right? That model, that white girl, that what? Oh Lord God.
Yeah, Julia Fox. I don't know if she's a. I don't. I wouldn't
Well,
call her a model,
supposedly she
but
was a model. Supposedly.
yeah, but you know what I'm. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I see her.
Um,
Does she have on? Let me just get this straight.
sh-
Does she have
what?
on? The gloves when you're washing the
The wash it.
dishes
Yeah, that's what she's wearing. That's what it looks like to
at
me.
the Grammys? This is what this heifer
Um,
has on. Okay, we're taking this artistic thing a little too far, people. Okay, why do you have on the gloves that you clean the house with on? I can't. Oh
I
no.
actually they have Teddy Swims in like in a questionable category, but I actually like it for him. Teddy Swims is a guy who sings that song "I Lose
Yes,
Control."
the white guy, right?
Yes, I love that, and he performed. He performed. He looked amazing, and I love him. I just listened to his new album, and it's a nice album to listen to while you're cleaning. But yeah, I didn't really. There's nobody
I
else
like
that I
that song
really.
though.
Oh, it's gorgeous, and he has a new song with Giveon that's like, ooh,
Okay, look at him.
get
He's
that
all.
new album.
My man has
Yeah,
pearls on his suit. Okay.
yeah. I mean, yeah. People are saying, I like it. It's different. It fits him.
Yeah, his
Um,
personality.
yeah, it fits his personality. It's like not your traditional
I like his
thing.
wife's dress.
Oh, I didn't see his
It's a
wife.
it's
Oh, you
a
saw a picture of his wife. Yeah, his wife, his girlfriend.
or
I don't
maybe
think
it's
they're
his
married yet.
girlfriend.
They're gonna, but she's about to have a baby. They're about to have a baby. He was
Yeah,
on the Breakfast Club the other day, so I didn't see it, but yeah, she's a singer too, so
they look good together.
um,
I like it. It's
nice.
different. See, this is different that I can tolerate.
there's different, and it's fit. It's good. Like there's different, and then there's this like you want to be a spectacle, right?
Yeah,
So
with a castle on your head. Lord, a castle on your head.
okay, so I guess that's it for the outfits.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the what performances? You want to go on performances or winners?
Yeah, good
Mhm.
performances. Yeah. Yeah.
So Dochi, to me,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say the big performances for me were Dochi, um, Chapel Roan, Pink Pony. I love that song, that Pink Pony Club song. Um, and there was another big performance. Oh, the tribute where with Cynthia Erivo singing "Fly Me Over the Moon" for the tribute to Quincy Jones. I really love that, and Ray. So Teddy Swims and Ray, those new best artists, folks. So yeah, there's a lot of standout great outfit performances.
Mhm.
I saw a clip of the weekend and Playboy Cardi because I don't know, like, there's a whole bunch of drama about that, but the weekend was, had protested the Grammys for a lot of years for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
And I remember I think we even talked about it one time when he was vocal about that protest, and I was with him because I'm like, this guy has been putting out global smash hit albums
True.
for years,
Yes, it's true.
and they were not acknowledging it. I was like, yeah, I agree, you need to boycott this is some bullshit.
Right?
And so he came back. I didn't see the little clip I saw wasn't impressive, so I didn't even go and try. And I love, as much as I love the weekend. I didn't. I the little clip I saw wasn't impressive enough for me to dig up their full performance. I'll probably come across it, but those were the ones I mentioned that I really liked. And I'm gonna go back now to Dochi, who won Hip Hop Album of the Year, a Rap Album of the Year,
Yes.
and also was able to perform to a couple of her songs.
Mhm.
She's been crushing it with the performances with the rollout of this album, so I didn't expect anything less than what we got. It was amazing. Did you see it? The performance or
I didn't. I
no?
didn't see the
Okay.
performance, but I
You
did
didn't.
see the
Okay.
speech. And
You saw what you won. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
And so for
nearly had
me,
me in
she had
tears.
this
Mhm.
yeah, she had the standout performance, and she was just pretty much carrying over all the top rate performances that she's been doing since the album came out on TV and stuff. So the only thing, which is why I asked you if you saw it, because there's only one thing that I had a question mark on, and typically I don't usually question this, but during her performance, so she's wearing a Tom Brown short set,
Mhm.
same gray type of theme going on, and in the middle of the performance, when they transition the song, they rip it off. So she's in her Tom Brown panty and Tom Brown bra. And I know, knowing you, I know you always hate the over
Yep.
sexualization of female rap artists. So that's why I asked. Because normally I don't have a problem, but for this I was like, why? I was trying to find the meaning in it. I really was. I was like, because if you start out half naked, then I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't
Right?
have questioned
Yeah.
anything. But because you started out and then you ripped it off, I'm like, what is this here? But I can find a little bit of meaning in it. And again, when you have a chance, watch it.
Mhm.
Is that, like, in her speech she talks about being a dark skinned woman,
Mhm.
and that typically, they try to devalue the beauty of dark
Mhm.
skinned women and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I could see, is like, this is me in all my glory. And to me it's like, even though she's in a panty and bra, the movement, and she's dancing, but the movement isn't like a Cardi or a Megan, where it's overtly like extra 100% overtly
Mhm.
sexual. It's like she's dancing in a panty and bra. So I can, like, so that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But I was like, I don't think, it's on the fence. So when you see it, maybe we talk about it. But
Yes.
yeah.
But the idea doesn't rub me the right way. I'll be honest. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
just stay true to your talent. You don't have to get naked in order for people to pay attention to you. Even if you are trying to say, "Here I am, black woman, hear me roar." Like,
Hmm.
um, I just don't see why you have to get naked to do that. So, and when
Hmm.
I say get naked, I obviously know she was not butt naked
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
stage, but
Mm.
it's the imagery that, in order for someone to appreciate your blackness, that you have to bear it all. And I just don't
Mm.
think that you have to do that.
Hmm.
and there come and what I've noticed is, and I want you to pay attention to see if you think the same here, is that
Hmm.
once a darker skinned or darker complexion entertainer, whether they're a singer, rapper, whatever, there comes a point in their career where they have a choice. It's either I start to bear all or I don't. And I noticed that when their career starts to take a upward climb, there comes a point where they make that decision to start bearing it all.
Hmm.
And their careers will steadily climb, but it reaches a plateau all the time. It reaches a plateau because now they've seen you. There's no mystery,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
I could follow along with you with that, and I
Because
think
I've noticed
her
it
as an
a lot. Like I've noticed it a lot that once, especially with brown skin
because it's
women.
like because at the end of the day it's gimmicky. You can whatever your gimmick is, that gimmick can only go so far. If you don't have the actual talent and substance to back it up, that if you're relying on a gimmick, you're screwed. You
And
have to kind of get
eventually
past.
the gimmick overtakes the talent.
Yeah, so it's kind of like yeah, I see, like I get what you're saying. If you put it like in the gimmick category, it's like yeah, you can only go so far with a gimmick, whether it's being overtly sexual or wearing these crazy outfits, whatever it is. It's gonna
But
plateau,
you
to your
see, I
point.
noticed that some of these women don't start with the gimmick. They start their
Yeah.
career, they get a little bit of attention, and there comes a point where they have to make a decision. Either I become gimmicky so I can elevate my career, or I have to strive even harder for that same upward mobility of my career. So I just feel like I always see young, beautiful,
Kim, can you hear me?
talented singers or rappers or entertainers of some kind, and they just all of a sudden now you're on the stage with in your panties. You know what I mean? And for
Can
me,
you
I
hear me?
just can't get down with that. Like, can we just present the talent and leave it there? Like,
Hello?
let your talent
Can you hear
shine.
me?
SZA's doing it. Yeah, I know she too
Okay, so it
made the
looks
choice.
still
If you look at the
doing another
career where they
recording.
start
So
to where
yeah,
they
so you're
are
talking, you
now
ended off
currently,
there. All right,
there
so
along the
we
way you
can
can see where the gimmick
go
started to come
to
into play. And
the
it,
winners,
I don't think
and
that
we'll
with
end
true
on the
talent you
winners. So
need a
we already
gimmick.
touched on
That's
the
just
fact
me.
that
But I
Kendrick
understand the world of
cleaned up.
entertainment that they want money, but it is what it is.
He cleaned up for I was
What
it
happened here? What?
it was one song.
Oh god, okay.
Because he
Yeah.
was
So
nominated for
yeah, we
he
can
was nominated
go on
for
off our
another
topic.
song, one of his other
Mm.
songs. I think it was
Hello?
Euphoria. So I was wondering if let's see. You're right. Everything was for not he only won for Not Like Us. Four Grammys
Yes.
for Not Like Us. Let's see. Like clap it up. Four Grammys for the one song. That is crazy. That was a single. That is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is crazy. No, no one's ever seen that. That's crazy. So anyway, so we got that. So the main categories for me are always Song of the Year, Album of the Year, New Artist of the Year. Those are the big ones. Then of course we get to like art, whatever your preference music. So best rap album, best R&B album, and then everything else in between is what it is. So what I do want to acknowledge is our girl, Rhapsody. She came away with a song, a win. Well, yeah, I was gonna close on that because I was gonna close on that because ooh. Anyway, so I'll go back to the big categories, which is best new artist was Chappell Roan. I saw that. I mean, Yes, that's fine. That makes sense. She's had a big year. If you're
Mhm.
into pop music, she had a very, very big year. Best rap
Right?
album, we talked about Dochi, and now her speech, very beautiful speech.
Mhm.
And everybody's been talking
Mhm.
about it. And so when she has her this,
Yes.
and that was
Uh,
a mixtape.
the
Alligator Bites Never
standout to
Heal
me
was a
was
mixtape. So
Beyonce.
can you imagine when now she releases her official first
Oh,
album?
my bad. My
So I'm
bad.
excited for all the things coming her way. Um, we know I normally wouldn't talk about this category, but best country album went to Miss Beyonce Carter Knowles Carter.
Right? What about Tim's?
Who? Thames,
Or
yeah, she
Thames?
bought, but yeah,
Thames?
best Afro beats. I don't see it here, but yeah, it's not a major category, but yeah, but she won best Afro beats album.
I wanted to point it out because I mean, she was doing her
Yeah, and you
thing
know
for
what? I think
Africa,
she got
man.
overlooked for what's her name? What's the South African girl's name again? Tyla. I feel like Tyla took a lot of her
Yeah,
shine, um, the last couple
yeah,
years.
but she started it, so Tyler can go
Yeah,
sit
so
down a little
Thames.
bit.
So it was a good win for Thames to
Yeah,
get that. And her, I love her
yeah,
album. That's a nice
yeah.
album.
Yeah, that's another thing. She has some really good music, man. The girl makes some really good music. I just wanted to know her because she is a fellow brown skinned
Mhm.
woman out here winning awards and shit. So I just need to put her on blast a little bit. And I
Yeah,
like her music, and I
I
think
love
she's
her.
really pretty, like really
Yeah.
pretty girl. You know.
And then best
Yeah, but yeah.
R&B, Chris Brown. He finally, and I will say, this I will say, and I like that other people acknowledge that Chris Brown. The problem with Chris Brown, first of all, let me say he deserved it. 1111 is a solid album, and my
Mm-hmm.
issue with him was always you're releasing all these albums left, right, and center with these 25 tracks, and they all sound the
Mm-hmm.
same. That was my issue with he was
Well,
releasing these yes, he's been steadily releasing music, good for you, but he would be steadily releasing music with all these tracks, and they were just blending into each other. Nothing stood out. Everything was just kind of like just there, right? If you love him, then maybe you would appreciate that, but for me, I need you to give me something to love, right?
and I agree with you, Jeanette, 100%. And I'm glad you made that point because I feel like for the last
Mhm.
decade or so, Chris Brown has sounded the same right across the
Yes.
board.
And so I would
I haven't heard anything different. The closest I heard something different was when he started to get involved
Afro
with
beats and
Afro
this, yeah,
beats.
this album.
That was the only time that I heard a little something different, but it all sounds the
Mhm.
same. It all sounds the same. The day of Chris Brown being innovative in R&B are done.
It
As
was
far as
done,
I'm
but I
concerned.
think with this album, the one and the same song that you're talking about with that he does with DeVito, this is
Yeah.
the album that won, and I do think he did a good. Let's just say he finally put some effort into making an original album. Let's put it that way. So I'm gonna say it is a
Yeah.
good win for him, the best.
Right,
And yeah,
right,
so
right.
those, and then we'll go back up to album of the year, which was very
Right?
controversial, and
Mhm.
Beyonce Cowboy Carter. And so, like, my question to you, I think my question to you is, I think, um, do you think it is? Do you think that it was Jay Z's speech alone that got her the win? Alone,
Yep.
the speech alone.
I think it was I think the majority of it, 80% of it was his speech. I think 15% of it was people and us all having
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
conversation and bringing it up and pushing the topic. But Jay-Z has a lot of power that we don't see. And I think the fact that he went up there and he made his whole speech about Beyonce's
Mhm.
album, I think that put the fear of God in some people, because I don't understand how it wasn't until he made that speech where she won something. This woman has had album after album after album snubbed by the Grammys. Like, it was ridiculous. And there's a lot of people that are, Beyonce fans who have been writing for her to
Hmm.
get this award, and it just didn't make any sense how she
Yeah, and
didn't.
that was pretty much.
But then Jay-Z came along and broke it
Yeah,
down for
the way he put
everybody.
it, it was like, and yeah, that was the sentiment. Is just what you said. As somebody who has been listening to her, even if you're not a super fan, she's
Yeah.
had at least, I'm gonna say at least three albums where she could have fairly won that fair and square. She should have. She has a couple where she absolutely should have, and there's about three where if she should definitely have won, and nobody should have anything to say about it. Um,
No, especially when that, like Beyonce, when she comes out with an album and she starts to release songs off the album
hmm.
bit by bit, right? Especially
Oh,
with Lemonade.
whew, that was the biggest snub of them
When
all.
when girlfriend got passed over on that shit, I was like,
Even
nah, man,
even the winner, which
nah,
is what's her
man.
name, Adele, came up and was like, "What the hell are you people doing?"
Even Adele had to try to attribute some of her damn award because we could see that she was being snubbed
It
on
was like,
purpose.
what? Now, come on, now.
And when that album came out, she was able to, like, she just put everybody's album to sleep. Everybody else at that time that came out with something, when that Lemonade album came out, she put everybody to sleep. Okay?
She
Everybody
did
had to go
something
sit down and rest
completely different. She
themselves.
literally shut down the internet for 2 days. A
The,
woman released a whole album with
oh,
all the music videos one time, drop it at midnight, and said,
how do you get passed up after
so
that?
that's why Adele was like, "What?" Adele couldn't even accept the award with a
Okay.
clean heart. She was like, "I don't even know what the hell I'm doing up here."
What am I
So,
doing
and
here?
I always give
Okay.
respect to Adele for, like, she didn't have to do that. Like, that was like, she didn't she didn't have to do that. And not that I would want her to do that, but the fact that she did do it, it was like it may just made that extra lens, like JC did. It's like put a lens on what are we doing here? Right? So two things.
Well, in his speech, when Jay Z said, "How do you have, the top songs and not win
She
the
had 28.
like the
How do you
album
have
of the year?
28?
That doesn't make any sense, even by
How
your
do I
own
have
metrics. Like, it doesn't
how do
make
I
any
have
sense."
28
So
Grammys and not one of them
uh,
is
the most Grammys ever
mhm
won,
mhm
make it make sense. So why I say 80% is because I felt like a piece of his speech was
yeah.
exposing the
Mhm.
Grammys and putting the Grammys on blast as to how they get to the person
And
who
yes, so
wins,
I have
right? And he broke it down for all of us to understand that, make it make sense. How do you have all of these songs? You're winning awards. You are the highest award winner of
mhm
Grammys, and you don't win album of the year?
mhm
When the person who actually won said you should have won?
mm.
How does that happen? How does that happen? So explain it to us,
Yeah.
Grammys.
So
And once he said that, everybody, like, I'm not saying that the conversation wasn't
being
already
had, yes, yeah.
there. It was already there, but I think that we needed more intel. Like, we needed more inside knowledge like he would have,
Mhm.
and how he could break that down for us. I'm not saying that we couldn't have came to that same logical, but I think it's the way that he did it. And it started people
Mhm.
talking. And at this point in time, the black people, we's taking over the Grammys. We are. We're taking it over 100%, because I don't see much of anything other than black people.
Well,
When I see people being highlighted, I'm not saying that there aren't any, right? But if you think of the Grammys in yesteryear to compare to now,
yeah, we definitely get a lot.
we're taking
It's more
over.
balanced. I don't think I don't take over. It's
Maybe
I
balance
would
is
say
the word, but
balanced.
I feel like there's a slight
Yeah,
tilt more in our
yes, I
direction
hear what
though.
you're saying. I could say that. It's like there's a balance and a slight tilt over on on the black side for sure. But I definitely think
Yeah, because I remember seeing Grammys, and that's what we were saying earlier, that it was a good show and it felt very
yes,
nostalgic. It
yes.
felt like a show that I watched when I was growing up,
Yeah.
and everybody was super excited, and you go to school the next day. Did you see the
Yes.
Grammys? Did
The
you see
energy
what?
was really,
That
really good. Yeah.
That's that
we didn't
energy. That's
mention
what I
that, but
got.
I have to say it was a really just generally feel it was a really good show, feel good show. I feel like I feel like the winners made sense. There was nothing crazy going on. But yes. So to your point, to the question I asked you, I think
Yeah.
I agree. I think that Jay-Z's that speech does have influence. I I'm balancing that influence with what happened with her being snubbed by the Country Music Awards. Like that has, like you said, some, not a lot, majority, but I would say about maybe 10% is 10-15% is that snub from CMAs, a blatant snub, by the way.
Mhm.
And then the
Mhm.
remaining is, and I think to your point, it feeds might still feed into what Jay Z did, is that the industry was like, motherfuckers, yeah.
How the
Like, why does
hell?
like she has been like literally putting out gems. Like she has a lot of albums, but if we just focus on her last four albums, four or
Right?
like I'm just saying the last
Okay.
four, okay, she's like sheer, like who's doing it at that level? Let's like come on now. Who else is who's doing it at that level? The detail from the rollout to the music to everything in between. Okay. And then also another thing that they kept on reiterating during the show is that they increased the amount of voters. So they went from 11,000 voters for the Grammys to
Mhm.
13,000
Mhm.
voters. I don't know if it had more diversity,
Mm.
if it had, I don't know what went
Maybe
into that, but they got more voters, which also could have helped in, I don't know, I just feel like they got it right. Like everybody who won, I felt like they should
they
have
should
won.
have
Like,
won,
you know, I don't think anybody got
right?
snubbed. I think like the winners made sense. The only question,
A
sorry,
hundred percent, and that's why I
the
think it
only
was such a good
questionable was
Grammy
like
show.
four Grammys for Not Like Us,
Mm.
four Grammys. It was culturally
Well,
significant, so that's but that's a joke.
and the reason why I think it's doing so well is because it's a song. I feel like it's an anthem for Americans.
Yes, Americans
All
love it.
Americans. It doesn't matter what you look like. It
It
doesn't
could be
matter
an
what
American
walk of
anthem. You're
life.
right.
Like that's what it seems like because you could see the newscaster singing not like us, not like us. You could see the garbage man singing the
Mhm.
same song. You could see the thug.
You
You
said
can
the right
see the
word,
pretty.
anthem. When you have
It's an
when you have
American
an
anthem.
when you
That's what
have
I think.
an anthem is hard to beat. Let's just put it that way. If you make
It
a
is.
successful anthem, you got it. You had got it hands down.
You realize that this song was on the 6 o'clock
You're right.
news,
Oh,
right?
on like
Like
everywhere.
this song
This
was
song is going to
everywhere,
be
like
on the bloody Super
literally.
Bowl and the whole world. Okay,
Okay.
but okay. Let me my final thoughts. I'm going to say this in terms of Beyonce and the album of the year. There's no
Mm-hmm.
secret here that I'm a big fan of her and I respect her career and everything she's come here. And and there's been a lot of unfortunately discourse online. It's like I tried to even like I'm like, you know, I'm not even gonna look at this. I'm just happy my girl got her things because last year when we did our Grammy episode, my callback was give Beyonce her blood clot things, and so now I could shut my ass up about it. She got it. I don't have nothing to say, but unfortunately, there was a lot of people who were like, this was not the album. I don't care if you don't think this album was Beyonce's best album because she gave you bloody four albums worthy of this win. And honestly, I went back and listened to this album after she did the Super Bowl thing and after she won. I've listened to this album four more times because Renaissance had me in such a chokehold. I keep on saying that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I it's like because I'm not listening to it like I listened to Renaissance, I'm think it made me question it. But there's a lot more nuance in this one. This one has a lot going on with it with and with Renaissance it was just have fun, enjoy, party, you know what I mean? And this one there's like so many layers. It was one of those albums that you have to go back and back to appreciate it. But back to my point of
Right.
saying even if I don't believe this, but even if you don't believe this is Beyonce's best album, she
Mm-hmm.
deserves that award. I don't want to hear nothing else.
Well, when I think of and I agree with you, and here's why I agree with you because when I think of the Grammys, right, it's like the Grammys is supposed to be
Mhm.
judging talent, right? And the fact that Beyonce could take her talent and put it in a different genre and do so well, I don't know how she can't win it. I don't know why she wouldn't win it. Maybe it's not her best
Mm.
album that she's ever done. However, it showcases her
Very,
talent,
very
does it
well.
not?
Yep.
So, okay, so if the metrics, as as Jay-Z was saying, the metrics is talent, then it should go to her, because she didn't just stay within the genre that she started her career in. I will say, I'll give Beyonce this. She is a chameleon. She could go into a house type of album and do
Mm-hmm.
well with
Mm.
Renaissance. She could go into country music and take her talent and do well with country music. So for me, when I look at why I feel the Grammys should give someone like Beyonce this award, is because she was capable of showcasing her talent at the highest level. And so why wouldn't she get the album? Why wouldn't she receive this award if it's supposed to be based off of talent? So okay, now she's gotten it. Kudos to you, Beyonce. Kudos to you. You deserve this from Lemonade.
Mm.
Okay? That's when I was like, the first couple times I was like, Grammys, are you playing
Mm-hmm.
around? But when Lemonade came and they gave that to Adele, I said, no,
Mm-hmm.
You're perfect. Now Adele, don't get me wrong,
Oh
she's a
yeah.
talented
Mm-hmm.
girl. Don't get me wrong. But Beyonce was putting in some serious work way before Adele even thought about singing. And so to see her talent just get snubbed and snubbed and snubbed. And if you notice, every time that Beyonce got snubbed,
She
she
upped
upped the
the
level.
level.
Every time
That's a
she got snubbed, she
she.
upped the
Whew.
level. So she took her talent and said, "Oh, that's what we're doing, Grammys? Okay, watch
Every
me."
time.
And she upped it every single time. And if that's not talent, I don't know what the hell is. Like, I don't know what the
And
hell
shout
is.
out to Blue.
She's able to take her talent and up it every single time you rejected her and
Wasn't
dismissed
it
her.
beautiful to see Blue walk her up there to get that album of the year?
I was
That
just
was, we
about to
have to
say,
mention that before we close. That was
Lord, I was like,
full
this is a
circle
moment.
moment.
This is a moment that we as Black women have to take really
Mm.
seriously. Why? Because the Grammys treated Beyonce like she wasn't
Mm.
shit. Okay. And so Beyonce had a child, raised that child, and that child gets to see her on a stage like the Grammys that have been snubbing her for all of Blue Ivy's
Mm.
life. They've been snubbing her. So to have her daughter up there looking so beautiful, because she looked appropriate for her
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
age. She looked beautiful for her age. And to see that she was with her mama and her mama finally got what she deserved, whether it had to be Jay-Z to point that shit out or not, I don't give a
Mm.
damn. She got what she deserved and she should have got it a long time ago. And it's nice that her daughter can see this. And after all of that, Beyonce said, I'm going on
Mm.
tour. Okay?
I'm a wait.
So
I'm
the
a wait.
girl,
But the
like,
good thing is she's,
shit.
oh, it's a small tour. It's not like, it's nothing like how.
But the fact that you just dropped this, got a Grammy, and you're going on tour, like, shoot. Like, goodness gracious, this girl. She was built, she was blessed to do
Mm-hmm.
this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I'm just so glad to see that she finally got what she deserved. And I don't care whether or not Jay-Z had to say something and put it on blast or whatever. Something had to be said. And if anybody to do it, it should be her damn
Mm. Yep.
husband. So, especially what he got going on in the background, yeah, you better take your ass up there and tell them I deserve this award. Okay, you better. And it was nice to see that he was willing to stand
Mhm.
up for her, because a lot of people, they see it and they're not willing
Yeah.
to say anything, and that's why I can respect Adele, because she could see it and she took her own
Mm.
moment She took her own moment and was able to express the injustice that was going on here. And I can respect her. And I always
Yes,
respected
yeah.
Adele. But I think Adele is for us black people. Like, I
Mm.
straight up think this girl is for us. Okay. And I am for Adele. Rolling in the
Rolling
deep.
in the
I'm right
deep.
there with you, girl. Okay, I'm right there with you. But all in all, I think the Grammys
Oh
was
yeah.
a great show. It felt very nostalgic, like I was saying earlier. It felt like the good old days where Grammys were like, you're sitting there biting on your nails, like, oh, girl, who's gonna win? Who's
Hmm.
gonna win? And it go to the person
Mm.
it should, not somebody who just popped in from the sky
Industry
from no place
plans.
with one
Yeah.
song. You know what I'm saying? So it was glad to see all of that. And it was glad to see Black Girl Magic on
Mhm.
display. I know that's a little controversy, that Black Girl
And it was
Magic.
cute. Yeah, it was cute to see Taylor having a good old. It was cute to see Taylor having a good old time. Everybody
Yeah,
was
and
having a
somebody
good
put a
time.
comb through that girl's head. Like, I am so glad that they combed up Taylor Swift's hair real good. I'm so happy to see that. It was nice. It was nice to see Blue Ivy, young,
Hmm.
beautiful little girl, as an example to other young, beautiful little girls out there. It was so glad to see Dochi. She really hit home with her speech. I think I want to see so much more from her.
Hmm.
I do.
Oh,
Beyonce,
we will.
I don't know what you're gonna do on this tour, girl, but honestly, you done it all already. You got the damn Grammy. But all in all, it was an awesome Grammy award winning. And I've already said I'm not really into this award winning
No.
things, but this one right here, this one was good. And I'm glad that we had a chance to see Beyonce finally achieved what she's been setting out from her very beginning inceptions of her career. She has won it. Congratulations, Beyonce, and to all of the other Grammy Award winners. And Kendrick, I'm gonna see you tomorrow, Kendrick. Okay,
You're gonna see it at the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna see you tomorrow, Kendrick, at the Super Bowl. But with all that said, we do hope that your hearts and minds were activated on this week's show. So whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay passionate and thoughtful. We'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye.
Bye.